I was going through some data recently and I realized that tokenized euro has crossed $1.1 billion this January. Look, you're gonna see it on your screen. So I was just in awe. I was like, when did this happen and what changed? Because a lot of people always talk about dollars, USDC, and they don't really talk about euros. So I really just wanted to get why. Because right now they're making transactions with it and it's being used in DeFi. Maybe I'm just not informed. And do you know why this is so good? Because it's very smooth. Transactions are very smooth. The banks are not slowing down. The fees are not crazy, and you don't have to wait for days. And it's not just one token. There is Euro T. There is Euro OC. There is Euro E and Euro A. I don't really know if you understand what I said, but it's going to be on your screen. Now, let me tell you another interesting stuff about this. Half of the assets are on Ethereum, and then you have Stellar, you have Solana, you have Base, you have Arbitrum, you have Polygon. They're spreading across chains, and it's just infrastructure. This is becoming infrastructure. Sounds exciting, right? Now, let me tell you the part that really caught my attention. Do you know that the central banks are buying the ideas, like they're in agreement? One example is the Bank of England. The Bank of England is now, I think they're about to start accepting tokenized assets as collaterals. And another example is the Central European Bank. Yeah, they're about to start letting other banks use tokenized assets as loans in 2026. Now, take a look at this. Banks, central banks, blockchain assets, all in the same sentence. This was very almost impossible a few years back, but now here we are. So while we're going to say this is still very early, which it is, it's quite early. I think that projects are still small. A lot of them are still in the testing phase, which is very okay. But something that is very inevitable, or something that is very obvious that we're seeing today, is that money is moving on chain. Yeah, money is moving on chain. That is very obvious. And we're not talking, I'm talking about euros, I'm talking about dollars, we're talking about assets, we're talking about bonds on chain. Europe is building digital financial rails in the background, and that is why I'm paying attention to this, because this is about how money is going to move in, let's say, give or take, the next 10 years. And it is very interesting. I hope you keep an eye on this, because I am going to keep an eye on it. Yeah. Have a good one.